GM everyone, and welcome back to another price update on the crypto space and just kind of general update also what happened the couple past 7 days. It's been a wild ride, but luckily I guess not for the fungible markets. Bitcoin is slightly down on the 7 day, but 0.6% down. Honestly, that's flat in crypto land. Ethereum having slightly better performed, up 1.4%. I'll I won't sugarcoat it. Honestly, 1.4% up or down, it doesn't really matter. That's just the background noise of crypto. I'm not going to read anything into that. Both of them are flat on the week. So, what did it do for crypto, or in this case, for NFTs? NFTs honestly have had pretty much one of the worst weeks in remembrance for quite a while. A lot of the top projects are down near double digits or massively down double digits. I do think the big story of the week has to be Azuki. Azuki dropped their elementals. It was a Dutch auction starting from 2 ETH. 20,000 of them are to be released. The 11,000 that aren't reflected here in the elemental price are still being formed, so you can still reveal them for Azuki elementals. And I'm just going to pull up Blur here for just a second to take a look at the floor price. The floor elementals. And as you can see, their big detractor was essentially that they're one-to-one, or very similar at least, to Azuki's, which honestly not quite true. They do have different styles, they do have different colors, but only the trained eye will actually be able to fundamentally see the differences between them. So for the untrained eye, as a external viewpoint, from outside of the Azuki community, many of them just kind of were devalued. So essentially, we were dropped another 11 to 15,000 of Azuki normals. They also did have some other subtypes, which are pretty fucking cool. Honestly, the animal ones, I love them. I do not understand. Let's just let it load here for just a second. I do not understand why they didn't just go ahead and make an animal collection out of this. Why they didn't just make a kids collection out of this. Why they didn't just go that route. Instead, they really, I don't know, in my opinion, it was kind of a missed call. I do think that all big teams right now should be having at least 5 or 6 different mint feedback cores who aren't inside of the community but are kind of looking at it from a just general NFT collecting perspective. Because those are also the people they are actually actively trying to recruit into their communities, right? Obviously, Azuki's also didn't perform all that well over the past couple days. They pretty much had one of the worst 7-day periods of all times in their history. Obviously, back with the Zagabound drama, they also had a big drop in price. Interestingly enough, you could see the price drop before the elementals were actually announced, indicating that there were some other quote unquote issues with the mint. I think it was mainly due to them not giving enough heads up, them not giving the OG collectors who were actually in Vegas the ability to really partake in the mint all that well. And last but not least, giving the beans, who, if we look over to Cheer Labs, just their overall brand collection thing over the past 7 days, you can see Beans down almost 70% and Azuki down almost 55% roundabout. I really do think that their mint mechanic was flawed. They tried something new. I'll give them that. I don't think it worked out. I think you need feedback before the mint and not shroud yourself in excessive amounts of secrecy. But yeah, I mean, honestly, this is just one of the stories of the week. We also saw, and I'm trying to kind of get all collections into a cohesive mindset, because I do think that we will win as an NFT, as a Web3, if we all kind of stand together. And we can see that Yuga Labs wasn't immune over the last 30 days to drawdowns either. Mutant Apes down almost 50% over 30 days, obviously. Other Deeds down 35% almost over 30 days. Meebits down 44%. Bored Apes down 32%. Honestly, the collection that probably performed the best here, just going to double check, was CryptoPunks, down almost 13% over 30 days. And I don't know if I really want to zoom out to 90 days. I'll do it because I'm a mathicist. Here, CryptoPunk's down 25%, Bored Apes down 50%. So, yeah, it just goes to show that every collection has downside. And if you think it doesn't, well, you're pretty much mistaken. Bored Apes trading at 30 ETH wasn't something I necessarily had on my bingo card. I did think that 45, this range over here, seemed to kind of mark the low end and hopefully turn around. We haven't seen that. We have not seen that. I do want to bring up NFT statistics with the stats here. Most of the traded big collections have been just a couple of them. So most buy and most holders are actually still holding on, just kind of letting it ride. So that means to me that I'm just going to revert this, the 10-11% of Meebits that are dragging down the floor price by 55% or whatever are the ones that are being traded, which means that, yeah, it is always the incremental, the marginal buyer and the marginal seller that impact price the most. And also what all collections really should be having in mind. How do I attract the next buyer, or how do I not make the next seller sell? Yeah, that's just kind of my takeaway here. I do think we have an other side to this. I do not know when the next NFT bull market is going to come. We can see a pretty long drought and that's kind of also a storyline that we've been talking about for almost over a year now. Veblen goods lose their status if they drop in price too much. So is a punk, is a ape, is a whatever still a Veblen good, like something that you want to aspire to own, something that has some kind of prestige to it, if it drops too much in price? And I really do think that a lot of the collections that were in the top 10, like Moonbirds, like Doodles, like Azuki, like Beans, like My Ladies, they are right now in this crossroad territory where they have to really either turn it around or restructure their value proposition for the owner too. So, yeah, just something to keep in mind, something that we'll definitely also keep looking at over the next couple of weeks. We also did see the Ether drop happen, and they did mint out for the whitelist that they had, but they only sold, I think it was around about 2,000 of the 1,700 supplier right now in circulation. Not 100% in knowledge about the minting structuring here, but they did drop their supply from 10,000 to 5,500, which honestly I think they should have done from the beginning. Just not do a 10K collection anymore. That is so 2017, so 2021, so 2022, not 2023 anymore. I do wish them all the luck in the world. I talked about it yesterday in the German space too. A lot of red flags, but they do have a really great artist supposedly behind it. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, at least for now, that they can turn this around. And they did drop from the mint price, or they did increase from the mint price of 0.35 all the way up to 0.71. Not massive. 24-hour change right now is also negative, kind of directing the market sentiment right now. Let's see if this reduction of mints is going to do them any favors. I think it can. At least the floor price will probably benefit from it. But all of these collections also need to consider how big they want to be. And if you have a too small original collection size, you can't really permeate the culture enough. I think some really low cap collections have felt that struggle specifically. I do want to get into one more mint that happened this week. Captains had a big run up and really had higher highs, higher lows across the last couple months. Love to see it. But the 9 ETH point was the inflection point too. Since then, they dropped essentially 50% over just, what was it now? Yeah, a bit less than a month. It really does hurt to see it. And why did this happen? It was essentially another mint fiasco. Their art was, by the community, decreed as subpar. It is kind of questionable why, like, grails like this still have, fucked up line drawings. I mean, some Bored Apes had that in the beginning too, as far as I remember. No one was crying about it then, but it does feel like these are just not, I don't know, inspired enough or interesting enough, at least for the for the owners to actually want to pay up. So yeah, as a professor over here says, it really is about how much effort you put in, and these kind of issues can be resolved before the mint then. So yeah, sad to see it. I do definitely think that they have the money. 9gag, the whole shebang should have been able to produce something a bit higher quality than this. But yeah, I guess that's where we are right now. Last but not least, I do want to just kind of get a kind of a temperature check on what people are saying about NFT founders these days. And it does feel like the whole playbook has been laid out. The whole playbook essentially was just you get millions of dollars if all you do is plan some great parties, sell some overpriced hoodies, and twice a year deliver some form of art collection or addition to your NFT collections, which isn't horrible in style. So I just want to reach out to all NFT founders out there. There are a lot of artists in our space. There are a lot of people who want to align with your brand. Go ahead and grab these people. It's all about actually not subverting expectations of your owners. So yeah, that's my TLDR in the week. I'm a tad bit frustrated. I'm going to be honest. I'm kind of pissed that big projects seem stubborn, that small projects seem unable to grow out of their, downtrend niche. And I'm also kind of pissed that just the effort level seems not to be up to par of what we should expect from these people. So yeah, I'm slightly pissed, also slightly hopeful. Actually, Bored Ape price jumped 2 ETH since I started recording this here, so there you go. But again, floor price isn't everything. It's about the vibes too. It's about the people you meet. And I definitely recommend that you focus on that during these kinds of downturns. Focus on Bitcoin, focus on ETH, focus on the absolute blue chips that aren't going to drop by 95%. Remember, ETH dropped their first cycle by 95%. Don't repeat that mistake, quote unquote. Do not hold stuff that will drop by that much. So yeah, I probably misused my own guideline in this case too, but I hope you guys have a great week. Thank you very much for listening in, and I'll see you again next Sunday. Bye-bye.